Welcome to the guide on how to get the game. To start, we're going to go to robertspaceindustriescom. Once we're there, we're going to click on the pledge store at the top. And then once that page loads, we're going to go to game packages from the menu below. On this page, you're going to see several different options for different packages, starting with the Squadron 42 standalone pledge. This is going to be the single player game that will start coming out possibly as early as 2020, but does not include the Star Citizen multiplayer, which is probably why you're here. If you want to get Squadron 42, it's really up to you. Right now the price is $45 and may get more expensive after it releases, but it's basically a story campaign that has a definite start and finish. There's going to be plans to add a part 2 and part 3 much later on, but we're going to continue with the multiplayer part of the game, which is likely why you're here. So if you want to add Squadron 42, go ahead, but you can always add it later, even before it comes out, so you don't really need to add it right now. So as I said, there are many different options on this page. They range from the regular starter ships like the Mustang Alpha and the Aurora MR, all the way up to the $275 Constellation Andromeda, which is a multi-crew ship. Keep in mind though that all of these ships will be available to purchase or rent in-game, using in-game money, so you don't really need to start with a super expensive ship. With bigger ships, you also have to consider that you're going to have to start paying for a wage for your crew, whether that be NPCs or actual players. Keeping food on the ship because light survival mechanics will eventually make it into the game. Repair costs, replenishing ammo and fuel, all of which gets more expensive the bigger your ship gets, basically. So the default starter ships that you have, there's two of them, which is the Mustang Alpha and the Aurora MR again. Both of them cost $45 and includes the ship itself, 1,000 credits of starting money in the game, and the game itself. For most purposes in the game, the starter ship is fine. If you have the money to spare, you can get one of the more expensive ships, but again, the more expensive ships have more powerful weaponry, shields, power plants, cargo space, etc. But they also come with a higher price tag to maintain them. So just keep that in mind. As a new person in the game, you may want to hold off on getting one of the bigger ships, simply because the starter ships are perfectly capable of holding their own or escaping from more powerful ships as it is. And you can always work towards saving in-game money to buy or rent the ships in-game if you ever outgrow your starter ship without spending real-world money to do it. But regardless of which one you pick, once you actually pick the ship package that you want, just click on Add to Cart, and it will take you to the checkout page. Just click on Checkout when you're ready to go after you made sure it's what you want. And you're going to come over to the Sign In thing. Down here, it's kind of hard to see, but there is an Enlist Now button. Click that to sign up. And on the left-hand side, you're going to have things like the login ID and your password. Be sure to keep that safe because this is actually how you log into the game or how you log into the website, and nobody should see it but you. On the right-hand side, you're going to have your handle and community moniker. These are going to be things that you actually see in-game and what other people see, and you can give them like your profile name and everything that will be composed of your handle, your community moniker. I believe is going to be the name that you show up in-game, but it's one or the other. Also, be sure to use a referral code. If you don't have a friend that has a referral code, there's going to be a referral code in the description of this video, and that's going to give you 5,000 extra money in game, as well as 5,000 extra for the person that referred you. So you normally will start with the 1,000 credits. This will give you 5,000 credits more, total of 6,000 credits in the game at the start, which is way better than just one. So after you're finished with all of these things, it's just the regular sign-up things like birth date, the lovely code that nobody can ever read. But once you get all of that and you check the terms of service that you've agreed to it, there's this little stay informed section. This is basically to set you up to receive the newsletter for the game. And this is usually something that I recommend people actually do because it kind of goes in depth on all the different development that's going on in the game, as well as updates. So they usually have links to videos and articles that you can read that are usually pretty helpful or give you some kind of insight into the actual game. But once you're finished with that, just click on the enlist now and you will finish your checkout. You'll get all your payments and everything done. And if for some reason it kind of leads you astray or off course, you can always just go over here to the robertspaceindustries.com and go to /download. This is going to give you kind of like a check mark status of making sure that you went through all the different sections, and also gives you the minimum requirements for the game or the recommended requirements. But you'll have a download now button here. You should be able to also download from this icon right here. And once you've got it, you're going to get the launcher. Once the launcher is finished downloading, just enter the login ID and password that you got from the sign up page over here. And once you do that, just make sure you check that box, or else you're going to be typing this in every single time you try to log into this thing. Click on sign in, and after a couple seconds when it checks for updates and everything, you're going to get a big button right in this section that's going to say install game. Click on the install game and it will download. I believe it's currently anywhere between 38 and 45 gigabytes. Once that's done and everything, you can actually start the game. You'll actually have an option. That button will turn into launch game and it will just drop you into the game. One thing to remember with this though is that once you've done that initial download, any changes that they make, you will only download the actual change. So if they only change 100 megabytes, on the next update you will only download the 100 megabytes instead of the several gigabytes that you did this first time. That's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to add them at the bottom of the video, and see you in the next one.